We wanted to wish everybody a wonderful Shabbat. This week's Parsha is Hukat. And unfortunately, in this week's Parsha, we read two of the great siblings of MOSHE. Moses passes away. Moses' oldest sister, Mary, passes away. And also Aharon, Aaron, the great first high priest, which was 3 years older than Moshe Rabbeinu. In this week's Parsha Hukat, he also passes away. And it's very interesting, Rashi says, when Aharon passes away, in the Torah it says, Vayivchu kol bet Yisrael. All the nation of Israel mourned his loss. To the contrary, when Moses passes away, it says, Vayivchu oto bet Yisrael. The nation of Israel, the house of Israel, cried for him. Not kol bet Yisrael, not all the... So why by Moshe doesn't it say all? By Aharon it says all of the nation. So Rashi says a fascinating thing. He says when Moses passed away, believe it or not, essentially only the men cried. The women didn't shed that many tears. But when Aaron, our high priest, passed away, the women cried bitterly, both the men and women. Why? So the Mishnah in Pirkei AVOT, and I was so lucky, I'm learning AVOT DERIBI NATAN, it says Aharon was the personification and the true epitome of a person that would mediate, a mediator to bring peace and love amongst Jews. Ohev Shalom, he loved peace, he ran after peace. And the Midrash says a beautiful thing. If Aaron saw that a man, husband and wife, had become separated, and thank God they had not become divorced yet, he would go to the husband and he would say, your wife is crying bitterly, she misses you so much. She's so sorry and regretful, disrespecting you. Then he would go say thing to the husband. The husband would say, to the wife he would say, your husband, he loves you, he respects you. It was a misunderstanding. He can't live without you. And then when the husband and wife would come to each other, they would get reunited. And then that's why, in a certain way, Aaron, when he passed, it was a bigger loss than even Moses, because Aharon was on a mission, constantly unifying families, keeping them together. And I'm going to tell you a really tragic story that happened. So, the Pirkei AVOT DERIBI NATAN in chapter 12, Mishnah Dalet, says such a fascinating, beautiful thing about Aaron. Aharon HaKohen GADOL mi'achav. It says that when Aaron actually passed away, there was thousands upon thousands of Jews named Aharon. Why? Because the Jews, out of gratitude, so many Jews had bickering with their wives, thousands of families, and Aharon, to his genius of mediation and white lies and twisting the truth and just being such a pursuer of peace, he brought them back together. Now, these families may have been separated for many weeks. When the husband and wife came together, the wife conceived and gave birth to a child. They said this child would not have been born if not for what? Aaron. So therefore they named the child after what? Aharon, which is so heartwarming. So that's why it was such a terrible loss to the nation of Israel when Aharon passed away, because he was the mediator, he was the champion of peace, the free psychologist that would heal the wounds of broken families and bring them back together. So this week, one of my congregants, she sends me a WhatsApp, and we were talking many months, almost a year, about this. Her nephew, which she was like a mother figure to him, was on the way to get married to an Armenian girl, to a non-Jew. He finally proposed a few nights ago. So she's texting me that she can't fall asleep because she's crying. She felt so horrible and terrible that it's like she passed her father has passed away again. The same feeling she had then. And I told her, listen, I'm crying with you. But something to realize, if you're an older mentor in a family, you're a good friend, and you're able to cause a husband and wife not to divorce, it's such a big mitzvah. We read it in the beginning of the Siddur. Why? This child, that he was one of my congregants also, 10 years he prayed with me, and then he went off to college. I could guarantee you he would not be marrying a non-Jew if his parents didn't have a broken home. His parents had a nasty marriage, and one thing leads to another. When there's a broken home, avera goreret avera. So that's such a beautiful thing that we have to have the good heart to help our friends, if possible, to mend their marriages. For it's such a shame that so many brothers and sisters are at war with each other, don't talk to each other. God's name is Shalom. We end all our prayers with Shalom. And may God help us to follow in the footsteps of Aharon. That we should cause peace, pursue peace, do everything, twist arms to create peace, and bring broken families together. And who knows, they may name that new baby that's conceived after the reunion after you. Have a wonderful day, and don't forget to subscribe.